pharmaceutical company and in the marijuana industry, including a stint in Washington in 2017, according to the owner of a legal cannabis farm in that state. In 2016, the suspect pleaded guilty to felony charges of marijuana delivery, according to court records in Collin County, Texas. He served 5 years probation. The FBI said it's investigating the shooting.
It's kind of dumb. There's a lot of people out there that live doing illegal things for their means of living, and live in better lives and more luxurious lifestyles than that of those who are in the actual working class. It's very unfair. That's why I feel like a lot of these people, if you're like doing lots of crimes like that and stuff, then you should be in jail. And yeah, because the less money there is circulating in the black markets, the more there is circulating in the white markets, and the more there is circulating in the white markets, the more you could make from working at somewhere like, I don't know, Walmart or something, I don't know. Which isn't necessarily true.
Hey, welcome back. Time for a fresh sesh.
Am I gonna hit my head? Maybe.
I am programmed not to judge.
Podcast Network. Stories that matter, podcasts that resonate.
This week, at the United Nations General Assembly, Canada took a new step to address the conflict in the Middle East.
Canada recognizes the state of Palestine.
Prime Minister Mark Carney taking that bold step, which he announced in the lead-up to the winter session at the UN, and along with the UK, Australia, Portugal, France, and dozens of other countries, declared their recognition of Palestinian statehood. This comes amid the ongoing war between Hamas and Israel that was triggered by the horrific October 7th attacks by Hamas.
Like, from my perspective, it's like, okay, so States is with Israel, and the States doesn't like that the rest of the UN seems to be against Israel. Not necessarily against Israel, but, you know, if we support Palestine, then all of a sudden it's viewed to Israel as being against Israel, so then that also makes it viewed by the States as being against the States. So not only is the States like forcefully putting their selves into other countries' businesses, but he's also trying to involve his allying countries to join in on involving themselves further. If you think about it, North America was really corrupt not that long ago. We had Biden in the States. We had Prime Minister Justin Trudeau in Canada. And you're already talking about basically all of North America now. I believe Mexico is part of North America as well. Or it could be part of Central America, but I think it's North America, so we'll count them as well.
I'll be here when you get back.
And if it was still Sheinbaum back then that's pretty crooked. I mean, even if it wasn't her, whoever it was, probably crooked if they're not there no more.
Not sure what you were doing, but I hope you washed your hands.
The way I see it is, if like these prime ministers and presidents and all these people were such good candidates, then we wouldn't have to. I mean, we would have to vote for them all the time, because that would be the fair, democratic, and like just fair system. But we'd be allowed to, like, there'd be no like limits on how many terms you can run. You know what I mean? Like, I can understand why that's a thing for the negative purposes that could come from that, but if you also think of the positive that comes from that, think about it. Let's say 90% of the people vote for a person, and after his first term or her first term, everybody's like his approval rate's still at 90%. It's like huge majority, right? Well, he gets voted for a second term, or she gets voted for a second term. Does great job still, massive approval ratings, right? Because if the candidates were actually that good, you'd have that many people voting for them if they were that good, right? So then after that second term, all of a sudden it's like, no, you can't do this no more, you're not allowed. I mean, that doesn't make sense for America, in my opinion. Like, even if the people would have otherwise voted, they're not allowed, because that person's not allowed to run again. Even if they were like literally the best president in human history, one that everybody wanted to be their president until the day that that president would pass away, you know? Almost like how you have king ruling over like the people. It's not always like the king would conquer the land and rule the people and reign over the people, but there's a lot of cases, I mean, maybe not that many, but there's plenty of cases where the people anoint a king. The people choose a king. Just like how the people choose a president or a prime minister.
Education nugget number 4. Goofy Stance was named after an animated character. Blame surfers.
The only thing that becomes a problem is other people want that position of power, and because you're not taking turns, like if you were to be like a king or whatever, and you don't take turns, giving somebody else a chance,
Back and ready to shred? I was wondering if you
somebody's
going to
want to try to take your power
things.
from you, and that's one of the issues that comes into play. Also, it gets viewed from a lot of the world negatively, even though it could be perceived positively by the population of that country. To be fair, I mean, a dictator and a king are very similar. Very similar. There are some differences, obviously, but not necessarily in all cases. Because as much as a king can be for the people, a king, or even a queen, or any royalty of that, that can exert their power, if chosen to exert their power for personalized decision making and personalized preferences, then that's almost basically no different than a dictator doing the same thing. And just like how a dictator can rise through power by taking power, a king can do the same thing. It's like usually the person who unalives the king becomes the king, and whoever unalives a dictator becomes the dictator. Not necessarily all the time.
Here's a reminder.
Depends on how loyal the people are.
A mission that you started awaits.
If the people are really loyal and you do something like that, you're gone. You're like kaput. And in this day and age, in this century, I don't think that there's any vulnerable kings or even vulnerable dictators out there for this for that matter. Like, some of the dictators that do exist in this day and age are very, very, very sheltered and have, like, pretty good capabilities militarily and whatnot. But maybe not all of them. There's probably some, like, South American regions or African regions that have, like, dictatorships that probably are not that hard to overthrow if other countries were to just try to band together, and or even just single countries were to choose to do something. And that wouldn't be unheard of either. It's not like, for example, it's not like the States haven't eliminated any dictators before. Shoot, even the people eliminate some of their own dictators sometimes. Like, the people just say, screw it, and rise up. So that's one difference between a king and a dictator. A lot of the times, the king tries to keep the people in check by giving the people some of what they want, whereas a dictator only does things for themselves. They don't think about doing things for others for the long-term benefit of themselves. But if you think of, like, really old kings, like way back in the day, they just, like, eliminate people for the same things that a dictator would eliminate people for nowadays. So, like, these, like, the ancestors of royalty today were really just monsters and accumulated the wealth and fortune and the perception of the people to keep themselves in power as these generations have passed. They've also had to, like, change up a lot. Royalty nowadays is very different than royalty back in, like, the 1800s or 1600s or, like, 1200s or 600s. Royalty is a lot less assertive nowadays, or a lot less directly assertive. They're very assertive, but they do things that we don't really know about. Like, they have a lot of control over the aspects of control that control other aspects of control. It's like a web. It's like the government only exists because the royal family allows the government to exist. It's one way to keep themselves in check, because if they don't keep themselves in check, then the people will all of a sudden not really like the royalty. And that's happened as well, just as much as you have historical cases of people overthrowing dictators and, like, eliminating them and whatever. There's cases of that, like, same thing happening with royalty. When power is left unchecked and is exerted too greatly, the people eventually just snap, I guess. I don't know. Some odd history. So, like, today's kind of royalty is very different to that of today's dictator. But today's dictator is very similar to that of...
I'm beginning to feel a tinge of abandonment. Interesting.
Historical royalty. There'd be, like, kings back then that would just, like, behead people, throw people in dungeons, like, literally do all the things that, like, you'd think that today's dictator would do. But they were, like, royal. I mean, they wouldn't directly do it. They'd get their henchmen or whatever to do it for them. And it's the same thing with a dictator. Usually a dictator is not the one beheading people, it's like his second in command or whatever. They never get their hands dirty. I don't even know how I got to this topic. I'm trying to think. I don't remember.
Were you away researching which foot to push with? Trick question. The answer is always back foot.
I was talking about how, like, a lot of these UN members are recognizing the statehood of Palestine, but then the US is, like, kind of with Israel and seems to be against, or just maybe not against, but just not with Palestine, or at least not with the recognizing of two-state solution, thus putting pressure on his allies to try to change their views. It's almost seeming like Israel and the US versus everybody else. Not like with physical conflict or anything like that, but like just like, I don't know, general conflicts, conflicts of interest. That's it. That's what I'm looking for. Conflict of interest. I'm really stumbling for words today. It's like foggy out there and rainy out there, so I got like the mind fog when I woke up today. Like, I know what I'm trying to say, I'm just forgetting the words for a lot of it. I'm tired. I am tired. Yo, watch this. Wait, no, I did it wrong. Watch this. Yeah. Oh, I missed that. Ouch. Oh, that's the backbreaker. Ow, that's a
Rolling,
butt breaker.
rolling, rolling. Yes, this spot is flowing.
Rolling, rolling, rolling. Oh shoot. Oh shoot. Ooh, back grind. Ooh. Ouch. Bro, I'm not supposed to try to grab that wall. Okay, I'm clicking it too fast. I have to like hold these and then hit that. I'll just land it like this. I was gonna try to go for that grind, but I don't know if I'm there yet. Just gotta practice landing shit. I'm lagging. Dang, I messed that up. My
Hey,
spatial
I was
awareness did
wondering,
not work there.
when was the last time we rolled through Colcrest Village? Slappy and the NC Lokes might be missing you.
Bro, she just wants me to do challenges. Ah. Nope. Yes, sir. Oh, I was way too close to that. No, I shouldn't have started that late. But I hate that it tries to grab that wall. I wouldn't mind it if it's done like both walls. Why does he try a 360 that? Rolling, rolling, rolling. Yeah, this butt is flowing. Hit him with the backbreaker. Oh wait. Hit him with the backbreaker. Yeah. I got this, I got this, I got this. I didn't got this. I don't got that. That's it, right there. Oh, I'm pressing all the buttons. Oh, you gotta love when your controller does not work.
Keep on keeping on.
Bro, I'm pressing all the damn buttons. There we go. Pressing them all too fast. Or something. Yes, sir. That was cool.
Canada is only catching up to the rest of the world and needs to do more to stop the bloodshed, protect Palestinians, and prevent more Israeli settlements on disputed territory.
Bro, Canada doesn't need to do shit. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, all we were known for is peacekeeping. Maybe a little guerrilla warfare. Now we're just known on putting our fucking noses in other people's businesses, bro. Our noses aren't meant to grow that fucking long to be up people's fucking asses, bro. Just because you got a long nose and you sticking it up other people's fucking business, up other people's ass, doesn't mean that I gotta fucking have to do the same shit, bro. I don't like smelling shit. I don't like smelling shit. I don't even know what I'm saying, to be honest. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, I think the moral of what I'm trying to say is I just don't like that my country is very concerned in global affairs because I don't feel very represented as a Canadian citizen anymore. They seem to not be addressing the things that people here want as much. You got 1 in 4 people that are immigrants here in Canada. 1 in 4 people is an immigrant. And then a lot of those immigrants are different nationalities, of course, but they all come here with their own, like, mindsets and views, and they come here and clash with one another, and then they want representation overseas. So, like, if we bring in a lot of Palestinians and a lot of Israelites or Israelis at the same time, or even at different times, then obviously what's going to happen is they're going to come here and there's going to be some clashes here, unless we divide them and make sure that they don't have, like, they're not in the same regions, but that's never going to work, never going to happen. So they come here, they clash, and then they also want they protest to our government here to do stuff overseas. You get huge legal repercussions if you're Canadian, and if you're, like, part of that, like, trucker protest, that convoy that happened. But then,
way in which the Israeli government can
even these like freaking Palestine protests, they're starting to get pretty wild.
Short of some kind of democratic process within Israel, remember Netanyahu.
There's lots of cultural and religious clashes happening at the moment.
Took place during his watch. He still was to be held accountable for that lapse in security, which is ultimately the political leadership responsible for. So that we haven't seen that.
It's very strange. You'll have like
Israel is a divided
a bunch
country,
of
it's
people,
democracy,
I forget exactly
but,
what religion,
unless the people
I think
are
it's
able to exercise their democratic
it's the
will,
one where
then
you
the
have
ship
to like
will
point
go.
yourself
I do not
towards
see
Mecca,
the circumstances
but they'll
changing.
all
I
place
don't believe
themselves
any
right in front of like
effort
a
from
Catholic
outside powers
temple
began
or
short of the
Christian
United
church
States
or whatever,
Donald Trump, and I'm not even sure
and
how much
like
effect
you'll
that
see
will
like
have on Netanyahu.
dozens or
So
even
I
hundreds of
don't
them,
see that changing.
and they're all like they just put their carpet down, they got someone's got a megaphone, they're all doing like I mean their prayers, there's nothing wrong with that, but they're doing that right in front of our
I'll just
God.
stay here. No problem.
So it's like
not as though I
a
have anything
religious
else to do.
clash, and then at the same time you'll have a lot of people that are Christian or Catholic or whatever seeing that, so then they decide to go to a mosque or a synagogue or one of these places with a Canada flag and a megaphone, and they don't really have a bunch of people with them, it's just them. So then they end up getting fined and they end up getting like in trouble for it. But then the ones that come and you know do their prayers in front of the wrong church or wrong temple, they have no legal repercussions. So it's a big catch-22 here. It's like the OG Canadians do not have proper representation here, and we are very fastly becoming a minority. We're still a majority at the moment, but not for long. The projections are showing that within the next 20 years we're going to be close to like 50% OG Canadians, I guess, and 50% immigrant Canadians, like new Canadians. So that's just like, it's a lot of people, one, so it's not enough time, like here's a bunch of things, right? So it's not enough time for the people here to have time for us to assimilate with all these new people. And then it's the same thing on their side. They're not being given enough time to assimilate into a new country, into a new culture, into a new land, with a bunch of new people. It's a very rushed process, and it's just not working very well.
Did the name Curb Cut come from the fact that they are really just cutty transitions? Did you miss
Apparently,
me?
like,
Or did you just miss your board?
like I see all these things on like videos and stuff, like there's lots of things that's just not being addressed, and then when people do address it, they're being called like racist, or they're being called like anti-Indian or anti-Palestinian or anti-Israeli, anti-Israel. Like no matter what you do, you're gonna be like labeled as anti-something. Or at least whatever I do, because I'm white.
I don't see how this ends happily, short of the weight of the Israeli.
Like I can't say like, you know, these Indians got to stop shitting on the beaches because, oh, that's stereotypical and that's racist and now I'm a bad guy. I can't say that. But then I see videos and they just need to stop shitting on the beaches. And then there's like a bunch of videos, I mean, they're doing it on purpose to try to spark something. You can tell that it's instigation. But we can't speak up on that properly. So you'll have like, and there's nothing wrong with like, you know, an Indian going to the beach, right? But if you're gonna go to the beach, don't crank up music that nobody really wants to listen to, and then leave that music unattended. Because there's a bunch of people that do that, and we don't do that within our culture. That's just not, like, you know, you don't do that. And even if you do, I mean, just because of the cultural differences, chances are your music's not going to be, like, perceived negatively by most of the people there. So what you'll see is, like, you know, some weird Indian music, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you'll see, like, people just leaving these, like, huge boom boxes, basically, blasting, like, music of their culture, and they're not even nearby. They're, like, far away in the water or something, and it's just blasted. And then we're very respectful here in Canada, most of us at least. So, as much as we'd love to turn down the volume on your device, we know that technically we're not allowed to touch your device. That's your property. Just turning down the volume, that's not allowed.
Absence makes my ram feel fonder.
So what happens is we'll just internally build up more
While you were away, I developed a growing anticipation
anger,
surrounding what you will do next.
frustration.
Well, I'm waiting.
And that's no good. I'm not anti-anything, I'm just an observer. I observe other people's, like... It's really weird. It's really weird, because you have people clip farming this whole, so there's like a rising of like Indians here in Canada, basically everything, or almost everything. So there's like a rising of everything by law, but then you'll have people of these minority groups purposely making videos to address these things, saying like, oh, I don't even know why all these Indians get so much hate, and then, but don't hate me, guys, girls, I'm Pakistani. So it's like, and then you'll just go into the comments feed, and it's like all hate, so much hate. Everyone's like, you're still the problem, go back home, blah, 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 blah. It's like, oh my gosh, bro, is it really that bad, or are we that far gone? But that's what I mean, I'm an observer. I see this shit. It's so bad that you have people literally clip farming it because of it. And they know, because that's one of the best ways to like get something to go viral. They know that rage baiting is a thing. Rage baiting. And they have this brand new thing that they can use for rage baiting to get so much like views and retention and comments and engagement, all that kind of stuff that boosts their algorithm to get them even more out there.
Ready to achieve a rolling state?
So the problem is so bad that you and so deep that you even have people freaking capitalizing off the issue. And I'm the first person I've ever heard to actually address that. Ain't nobody I've ever heard address the fact that people actually clip farming it. I heard that anti-Indian or Indian hate or whatever has gone up by like 1,000-something% here in Canada. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, it's actually insane. I've never seen anything like this in my life. And you'd think, like, I personally always would have believed that these videos, like all these hate videos, would be like, or even the comments and stuff, like, how are they getting through? Like, these comments are so mean and negative and hateful, and the videos are even inciting the hate, because they're capitalizing off the rage bait aspect of things. So it's like, where do we draw the line? It's really messed up.
So it's a kind of, it's an aspirational declaration with no means of enforcement, because no one amongst those 100
I have never seen my country so divided ever.
UN General Assembly.
I don't even know if my country's ever been this divided, ever.
Beyond the usual call for a ceasefire.
Within all of this country's existence, I do not know if it's ever been like this.
Vetoed by the United States. So we saw this most recently in the last couple of weeks when the Security Council, the United States vetoed the resolution. This is what's happened now in the Security Council. On issues of war and peace, one of the big three, China, Russia, or the United States, prevents action. So the UN, which was set up to
Would you like me to scan the area too?
An exhilarating experience on PEI, but it may not be what you think. Here's CTV's Maria Saru on the scholarship that has orchestrated a meaningful opportunity.
I swear, Canada's going to have slums soon. Like, actual slums. We basically kind of do, but I mean, like, actual slums.
He says some people
Like
love
shanty
it,
towns.
some people not so much.
I'm personally on the love it side. I find they're very beautiful instruments, and
If things don't
no
change.
idea, like, one of them is ever loud.
That's not scaring off his classmates. This year, at least 30 students signed
I mean,
up to learn an
by me
instrument
saying
at
we
PEI's
basically
College
already
of
do,
Piping
we've
and
got things known as
Performing
tent
Arts
villages.
Center. All of them on a
Which, I mean, isn't that
$750
super uncommon? I'm sure the
scholarship
states
funded by US-based philanthropist
can
Doug
relate.
Debbie Hall.
But we've got tent villages. But that's the thing with
Some, like
first
Aurora
world
Ford,
countries. There's
all
no
just
actual
started.
place for you to just go. If you wanted to just go live on some land, you can do that kind of. Like if you're living like in a second, third world country, you're able to just go live in a shanty town. Because the government's not going to come there and make you move. Over here, you try to live in a like a area that's not bothering nobody. You got like a tent or whatever set up. You want to start building. You're just not allowed. They're going to kick you out. The cops are going to show up and make you move.
That is exactly why the halls say they funded more than 50,000 classes.
Elgin Law has been building community in Ottawa since the 60s, protecting workers, supporting families, shaping our neighborhoods.
Bro, why can't the Middle East just get along? Genuinely. Like, if they cause this much issues, historically, why do they even, like... This is gonna sound really messed up, but why do they even exist still? Like, if it wasn't for, like, other countries getting involved with the Middle East, I think that the Middle East would have just fought it all out, and then there'd be, like, one ruler of the Middle East. I don't know what that would look like or how that would work, but...
Don't forget, you've got some unfinished mission business.
Even in movies and everything, it's like... They always, like, talk about, like, all the Palestinians are always like, death to Israel! And then all the Israels are always like, death to Palestinians! They're just, like, no matter
Maxing out that session marker mileage.
when or where, it's just always that. Dang, I almost got that. And it seems really weird, because Israel has beef with, like, all these places in the Middle East. And all these places in the Middle East have beef with Israel, but then Israel apparently are being perceived as the good guys on the global stage because they're backed by the US mainly. Even though they've been found to have done genocide literally within Gaza. Or that's what the UN has said. or from what I've seen in the news that the UN has said. Like, I don't even know what's real nowadays. Like, frick, I don't want to say something that's unreal, like, but then again, I wouldn't know if it's real or not without knowing. Like, it's so messed up. Kimmel got kicked off the air for saying something that was verifiably untrue, supposedly. That's what I heard the reasoning was, and if that's the case, then... But, like, how can you verify that he knew that it was verifiably untrue, though? So, like, there could be a verifiable fact out there, but if you say something that's against that fact without knowing that that fact is out there, then you could be in the wrong still. And there's so much misinformation out there, and there's so much AI generated content, just misleading content, misinformation, all that kind of stuff. So it's very hard to know what's real. So then, because of that, people go and say stuff and then become part of the issue. I'm probably one of them. Like, I speak a lot, but then because I can't actually properly verify anything, like, I don't even... Like, how can you verify anything genuinely? Trump wants the UN countries to start cracking down on immigration.
Inquiring eyes want to know.
So I hope he means Canada. Wait, what did she say?
Marchers and counter-protesters at a nearby anti-racism rally. Addressing the growing number of hate-related crimes in Canada will be a priority for Prime Minister Mark Carney.
Hate crimes is your priority. You have your immigrants that you've let in with your ridiculous policies that are causing way horrific crimes, and you're going to prioritize the hate that these criminals are getting. What a fucking goofball. I don't even care, bro. My prime minister is a goofball, bro. Not my prime minister, bro. I did not vote for him. Still have to respect the fact that he is prime minister by a technical standpoint, but I don't stand for anything that he's doing. Mark Carney is going to get Canada on Trump's bad side, and I don't like that. I don't want to be on America's bad side.
Look over there. Boom. Made you look. Whoa, glad you're back. You should have seen what just happened. It was
got
noteworthy.
Our prime minister here
Unfortunately,
going down
I'm
to
at a loss
Mexico
for exactly
and
how to
stuff, and all
describe
these
what
places
transpired.
to make deals
Sorry.
to try to make us work around the states, not need the states as much. Now the states, they got like some mafia style tactics type shit, so it's like they're not going to take lightly to us trying to go around their backs like that. The States is the kind of place that'll force you to give them all your cheap like all your expensive resources for cheap, and then force you to buy all their expensive resources for expensive prices, or even cheap resources for expensive prices. That's how they want to make America great, rich, and have the people. If it was like the American dream is to have the world do all the work for Americans, while Americans can just sit there and keep on bringing in resources and just live freely. That's the American dream. Live off the rest of the world. Slavery still supports the States in many ways. There's many huge businesses that support slavery directly, and child labor directly. So you can get the product either in your pocket or maybe even the product that you're wearing. The world used to be so beautiful and majestic, and now this world's just fucked. I swear, each day we're getting closer and closer to World War III. And the world's so desensitized that nobody even cares, because they don't feel like it's factual or fictional enough to be a legitimate threat.
I saw a post about the SVCC considering a Citizens on Patrol program. It's to prevent
We've
people
also
from
got
using
the
parking
population
trucks
so
near
brain
garbage
rotted
bins.
and low
They're
on
a fire
IQ
hazard.
and void
Remember,
of their
kids,
ability
only
to
you can prevent
critically
dumpster
think,
fires.
thus creating a population just like basically willing to do whatever is told. Those are the kind of people you want in the military or in a war. Mindless soldiers that'll just do every command. I don't think you'd want me in a war. I'm that kind of smart ass that would always think that I know the better way to do it. And it'd probably get everybody injured or something because of that. So I'm basically a hazard. But then again, warfare has changed so much that I don't even think you have to be on the front lines nowadays. But then again, if they wanted to dim down populations and stuff like that, they'd just be sending troops. How many square acres of viable land is there on the planet? .58 billion hectares, approximately 3.9 billion acres of cropland. That's just the amount of land that's already cropland for these massive farms and stuff. I mean, to be fair, if you were to grow your own food, you don't even need a whole acre to grow a year's worth of food on, especially if everybody else is growing their own food and there's a sharing and community aspect and stuff like that. The broader category of agricultural land, which includes pastures and permanent crops, is much larger, covering about 4.7 billion hectares, around 11.8 billion acres as of 2022. So basically there's enough already like land specified for food on this planet to perfectly like if you were to divide all that cropland, everybody could have their own acre and live off that food for their life and share with one another. How many square acres is there of livable land on this planet? About 15.77 billion acres. Holy, so that's enough for everybody to have at least an acre and a bit. Everybody could have an acre of frickin' farm agricultural land, and everybody can have an acre to live on, from the looks of it.
Are mall grabs okay, now that actual shopping malls are a vintage shopping experience?
So my theory basically is pretty much correct. There's enough resources and land on this planet, if divided equally, or even relatively equally, everybody could live lavishly, like literally so lavishly. The only issue would be like international trade would become really difficult and non-existent almost. Because there's nothing worth paying a middleman to bring your crop to Asia for the Asian person to bring to give the middleman their crop to bring back to you in exchange. Like, maybe that would work, I guess, because then the middleman would be able to get resources from both. And go back to like some Minecraft era type stuff where everybody was like every villager was a trader, and you'd have wandering traders that would go from village to village acquiring different goods, and being the one who had all these really crazy goods because he'd be getting stuff from all these different villages. Most things that you'd see inside of a village was things local to that village. Outsider things are usually way more valuable to the insiders. Thus, they'll usually give you a lot of their local things in exchange for other people's local stuff. So then the wandering trader actually gets to benefit like crazy. Why don't we live in that society? Why does this society need to exist? It feels so redundant. Like, literally so redundant. Waking up in that kind of lifestyle, you wake up with a proper sense of purpose each morning. Waking up in this kind of like a society lifestyle, it's like you ask yourself all the time, what is my purpose? In the society that I built as well, that I just explained and laid out, that society has a lot more generational wealth as well. Not monetary, but in material accumulations and whatnot. Because like, I mean, everybody just like stacks their stuff in that kind of society. Eventually, you almost have too much stuff. Imagine a world where you have too much stuff. You gotta tell the woodworker to stop building as much furniture because everyone in the town's already got all what they need. Becomes like a carpenter but works woodworking on demand, on request. I'm definitely not the only person to think about splitting up the planet's resources and land equally.
Education nugget number
Like,
7.
why is it that the 1%
Killer bees are known
own
to become agitated near
99%?
skate parks and may fly in vampire teeth or hypodermic needle formations. They can be avoided by entering the park.
Is that the society and world we want to live in? Letting
you're
the
back.
1%
Time to get cooking.
own 99% of everything? And control even 99% of everything? You make a decision on what you're about to do, but those decisions are dictated by the greater scheme of things. The society that's been designed around you influences almost every decision you make. You know, am I going to the club tonight? Am I going to the beach today? The beach and the club only exist because, I mean, maybe not the beach, but you know what I'm trying to get at. I don't even know what I'm trying to get at, but you know. You know. You don't know. Because I don't know. Oh, Canada, by the dawn's early light.
Good idea. Get your bearings first. Is this strike 2? Strike 3 and you're out?
killing of conservative activist Charlie
I am
Kirk.
using artificial imagination to create a picture of where you went. The picture involves water, a bowl, and a handle that flushes the water.
Bro's saying I'm gonna go in the toilet.
Thursday to a grade 5 and 6 class in Toronto's East End. The staff member has said she was previously relieved of all duties and an investigation is now underway. Children, whether they intended to or not. It illustrates the content moderation challenges platforms and parents
Well, who put
face
those ramps
in
there?
handling these events. And NBC's Kamal Karmali reports that's raising a lot of questions about what can be done to gatekeep graphic content.
Count on W. Stimson and Son for home comfort.
And peace of mind.
Count on locations all over Eastern Ontario and Western Quebec for
Prompt service. Efficient oil and propane delivery.
W. Stimson and Son.
I judge not your fun.
Too many.
This is the angle from which much of the world saw Charlie Kirk.
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Plastered all over social media. Gruesome and bloody shooting of the conservative activist prompting this warning from officials.
Social media is a key to our society right now, and I would encourage people to log off.
But people didn't. Countless videos posted online with millions of views. They went into homes and into the classrooms of these Toronto students.
Usually at lunchtime they go on YouTube and like Snapchat and TikTok on their smartphones.
Lyra's mom, Rebecca Snow, concerned by how kids can access such a gory video so quickly.
There's definitely a lot of pressure on kids to keep up with what the trends are, what they're looking at on TikTok and what they're looking at on Snapchat.
In the age of social media, graphic videos are being uploaded faster than parents and even traditional media can gatekeep them.
Once the genie's
You
out of the
gesticulate
bottle,
enjoyably.
stop it.
Even though social media sites put up a warning, people completely bypass them, and many choose to.
The more people see the video and discuss it, the more others will want to see as well to be part of the conversation.
No shortage of these kinds of videos shared online in the past, including the Yonge Street van attack in 2018 and the Lapu Lapu Festival this past summer in Vancouver that left 11 people dead. All of that having long-term psychological effects.
I love watching you cook at the Tri-Towers.
Meaning that the more horrific violence you see, the lower is your set point for reacting to that, feeling empathic.
These parents now part of a movement to limit access to smartphones for youth,
I decided not to give any of my kids a smartphone until they're at least 14.
hoping images like this never make it onto their phones. Kamal Karmali, CTV News, Toronto.
There were more Russian drones in NATO skies today with incursions in Poland and now Romania. The breach of airspace comes as Donald Trump calls on NATO allies to issue new, stronger sanctions to help end
Is spectating a window to one's soul?
China, not Russia. CTV's Colton Crail on where that leaves Canada.
This is the sound of NATO's defense. French fighter jets scramble over Polish skies as Russian drones breach NATO territory in Romania and operated near the Polish border today.
Either means that the Russians are emboldened, or they don't really think that there's enough of a consequence of actually flying one of those things into NATO airspace that they need to actually care.
But as Russian incursions grow bolder, Donald Trump says NATO needs to step up before he implements new sanctions. Today, the U.S. president calling on all NATO members to stop buying Russian oil and impose 50 to 100% tariffs on China until the end of the war. China is a major purchaser of Russian oil, which is crucial in financing its war efforts.
It's a way to sound tough, but at the end of the day, he won't have to do anything because he has set the bar too high.
Experts say Trump's demands may be unlikely to happen, but they highlight Canada's precarious position, caught between global superpowers and a trade dispute with both.
We do need to be practical. Just firmly looking at
Yeah. Are you in spot destruction mode? Because it sure looks like it.
the country, war laws can be problematic.
Some say it represents an existential problem for Canada. They say significant and immediate security and foreign policy investments will be needed to be able to protect Canadian interests on the world stage.
But we don't have 5 years. We have a year, maybe 2, to
turn this around. After that, I'm worried that we're going to be more alone in the world than we are today. She said the finance minister spoke yesterday to discuss additional sanctions on Russia. Nothing was announced. Today, the finance minister's office says those conversations will continue for the coming weeks.
CTV's Colton Trail in Ottawa. Tens of thousands of people gathering today in St. Peter's Square for a...
I actually think if I was to like...
When it comes to transforming your home, no one does it better than California.
I think I got an idea that could help with my landings.
Start your California Closets experience by booking a free consultation today. By the Vatican.
Almost? I was onto something though.
Drones form the image of the late Pope Francis overhead as Italian Center and
That's crazy. They're using drones like that?
Shelley was co-director of the Grace for the World Concert along with Pharrell Williams. The event is called of the Vatican here. Here at home, the Somo Festival is drawing a list of well-known musicians to PEI, but CTV's Maria Saru shows us why no show is generating a bit of frustration. With a scan of their festival bracelets, fans stroll in ready to make the most of Somo. It's just good time and good vibes and beautiful weather and great people. The festival features huge headliners.
Feeling it.
She was definitely on my list of people that I need to see before I die. Most of the time, see Jorge tomorrow. But missing from the lineup is Alex Warren. Fresh off an VMA's Best New Artist win. I did cry for a hot second about it. Last week, in a now deleted post, Somo announced Warren, quote, decided not to join this year's festival due to a recently booked scheduling conflict.
Oops.
Going through a lot of stuff. I've been touring all year.
Warren told fans on TikTok he asked for time off weeks
Oops.
ago, suggesting the festival should have told fans earlier.
I am sorry.
Oh no.
That video has more than 20 million views. Organizers call it all a miscommunication.
There's so many people that are involved in the booking process of these, worldwide artists.
East Coast favorite
We go into
Adam
space.
Baldwin taking the stage instead.
I am so excited because we got Adam Baldwin. He was here last year and it was amazing. We saw him in Halifax. He's awesome.
The festival's benefits go to music. It's a big boost to the local economy with up to 35,000 people coming to Cavendish.
It's a little bit smaller than the festival we're used to in Ontario, and I think it's a better environment.
The food is a big draw.
I never really have seen, maybe other than Coachella, a festival take the food into this much importance.
We have crabless cakes on our menu, made mostly from artichoke hearts and chickpea flour.
The fun continues tomorrow, and the Somo team says next year's lineup is already in the works, with the first artist announcement coming later this year. Maria Saru, CTV News, Cavendish, Prince Edward Island. Coming on. I heard stories of being held at knife point. I heard stories of being punched. The drastic steps being taken to address rising violence at a Manitoba health center.
At this point, I'm just playing space. I'm not even playing skate. Oh, there I am.
Frontline healthcare workers say
Oh,
rising violence
here we go back down now.
hospital poses an unacceptable danger to employees as well as patients. Now, Alex Corpo says the province is taking concrete steps to address the crisis.
In response to recent violent incidents at Winnipeg's Health Sciences Centre, police officers will soon be stationed at the province's largest hospital on a permanent basis.
Well, I think it's a positive step. I'm pleased to see this. I think it's a positive move, but it is just one move in a list of many moves that need to be made.
This decision from the province is in an effort to address ongoing safety concerns at the hospital. A recent Doctors Manitoba survey found that only 45% of physical safety incidents among physicians in the past year took place at HSC.
Healthcare is a really high-risk profession, and I think it's always been that way, but it seems to be increasing in risk lately.
Jennifer Dunsford is a registered nurse. She has not been a victim of violence, but has spoken to many nurses who have been.
I heard stories of being held at knife point. I heard stories of being punched. So I think it's a very, very common experience for nurses for other healthcare providers that work directly with people, especially in hospitals, but across the health system.
Data from the Canadian Medical Association shows that 8 in 10 physicians have experienced intimidation, bullying, or harassment in the workplace. Dr. Margot Brunel says violence against healthcare workers cannot coffees in all regions.
They expect and deserve a safe environment. They expect to be protected.
I gotta be almost there.
Those that I spoke to say permanently putting police officers inside a hospital is a first in Canada. And while it may be a short-term solution, it's not a long-term one to stopping violence within the healthcare system. I'll start with CTV Winnipeg.
Go ahead, navigating this forbidden forest. Why this magical attraction coming to Vancouver is creating a lot of controversy. For a small province, Newfoundland and Labrador has a lot of town councils, several hundred, which are all heading to the polls next month. But attracting people to those political jobs seems to be getting harder. Jared Berry has that story.
At Greystone Village in Old Ottawa East, home is Collins, a visionary community set alongside the Rideau River with upscale condos and modern townhomes designed around the Central Park. Visit greystonevillage.ca today to find yours.
How am I still so high up? I swear, am I still going up? Am I just stuck here? Oh, the clouds just got rendered differently.
There's some challenging times in terms of the type of engagement, public engagement you're seeing now.
Seeing more clouds popping up, that could be a good sign.
Politics are just getting harder, and incentives like pay aren't keeping up.
A lot of the time, these positions are not paid, but they're volunteer positions. And so if you're having to work really hard to make it, how do you also have time to volunteer to be there?
Municipalities NL has launched a campaign to drum up interest in local government. They say there's a lot of curiosity, but there's also barriers.
Seems like we've forgotten how to disagree respectfully. So we need to get back to that. We need to treat each other better.
My character is freaking out, yeah.
Conversations around the table.
Cody says another part of the solution
I'm freaking out, bro.
times to make it easier for people to care for children and seniors to get involved. Your very meetings, St. John's.
There is growing criticism over the decision in Vancouver to host a Harry Potter attraction, including calls for its cancellation. CBC Bureau Chief Andrew Johnson has more on what's behind the backlash.
This is the Forbidden Forest, where Harry Potter fans are invited to ready their wands and cast their spells in Vancouver's Stanley Park. But this city councilor says the magical attraction represents something much darker.
I feel it's really incredible that we are allowing one of the world's most high-profile transpos to actually make money in the city of Vancouver to support their efforts to oppress and people across the world.
He's referring to author J.K. Rowling, the creator of this supernatural world, whose comments about transgender people have been perceived as hurtful and harmful. Rowling recently supported a UK Supreme Court ruling for sex-based protections to apply only to those who are born female.
That's a way of saying trans.
Rowling maintains her views are not transphobic.
Welcome to Harry Potter and Forbidden Forest Experience.
The controversy has not deterred millions of Harry Potter fans of 4 continents who have already seen the outdoor attraction coming to Vancouver in November. It was approved by the park board, a decision Councillor Maloney wants to see reversed.
Really important that we continue to know the thing. In fact, that's part of our values and that's certainly my own personal values.
So everyone who's a fan, I get that this is
work of a Canadian, Jessica Lee Gundy. She made history last weekend as the first woman to win an Emmy and the Creative Arts Award for her work as a cinematographer in a series. She's up for another Emmy for directing an episode.
I felt attached to the character of it. I wanted a woman to direct it. I felt like it should be that. I had to be something. If I did it, I could, make sure that was the case.
Ooh.
You have to bug at this spot.
Developing a love of the movies in her father's video.
I just, it's like little awards, or like Batteries Not Included, or even like Flash. Just popular movies. Sometimes I know my dad would do that for work, and I have
Dang.
he just put up in his office and just watch like a pile of tape.
Ganya's work caught the attention of American actor, comedian, filmmaker Ben Stiller. Did you have sex? They partnered up for the 2018 award-winning crime drama series Escape at Denham Morgue. Teaming up again for Severance.
With Ben, it was almost like my personal case and his personal case match. So we were in a zone of comfort there, and I think that's why we worked together for so long.
Now she's developing her own project, writing, dreaming of directing her first feature film, and perhaps of another Emmy win.
Oh, that one was close.
That is our newscast for this Saturday night on Heather Bucks. For all of us at CTV National News, thank you for watching. Good night, and I'll see you again tomorrow.
National News, Canada's #1 newscast.
It wasn't even that much more speed or height that I got from that. You gotta do that, but without slowing down as much. Ooh.
Allie, come down the east.
Oh, that was the one. I just messed it up.
Good to see you too. Thanks for your service. The president put that video of him eviscerating, blowing up that boat hang with the drugs on board. And the president said on social, on Truth Social, let them be on notice to anybody bringing drugs to the U.S. Beware. So the president is sending a message to other cartels, right?
A very clear one. I can tell you that was definitely not artificial intelligence. I watched it live. We knew exactly who was in that boat. We knew exactly what they were doing, and we knew exactly who they represented. And that was Tren de Aragua, a narco-terrorist organization designated by the United States trying to poison our country.
Oh, there's a little ramp there.
Last year, under the Biden administration, all 4 years, 100,000 Americans died from drug-related, from drugs, from the use of drugs, many of which poured in from Central and South America through our southwest border. Now, we're sealing the border.
Okay, my L2 is just not working. Which is dumb because I know L2 works. There we go. Okay, I don't know if I'll be able to hit that one.
This kind of activity. You're poisoning our people. We've got incredible assets, and they are gathering in the region. And so we want to try to traffic drugs. It's a new day. It's a different day. And so those 11 drug traffickers are no longer with us, sending a very clear signal that this is an activity the United States is not going to tolerate in our hemisphere.
Well, Mr. Secretary, you made it very clear when we had the opportunity to visit the Southern Border at Fort Bliss, the Southern Command knew exactly where these folks were.
Is it too much speed?
For this operation specifically, was this a drone attack or was this hellfire from a helo?
I can't disclose precisely how this went down. I can tell you it was precision. It was very well understood exactly what assets would be used in order to achieve the effect. So that's classified how it was done, but you can see publicly a lot of the assets that we have in the region, to include our view, which holds 2,200 combat
Spider-Man.
Glad you don't get session marker sickness.
Because this is a deadly serious mission for us. And it won't stop with just this strike.
Anyone else trafficking in those waters who we know
Where's my music?
narco-terrorists will face the same fate. And it's important for the American people to protect our homeland and protect our hemisphere.
So their leader, Maduro, who we put a $50 million bounty on his head, has called out to China for help in this. And China's condemning the U.S. And saying, I shouldn't use the word condemn. They're warning us we should look out for the country's integrity. Are you worried about China and their relationship with Venezuela, and how will that affect our policy?
It's payday. Live on your TV. But at home, comfort shouldn't be shivering through the fourth quarter. With Save On Energy's Energy Affordability Program,
Bro, it's too much speed or something.
that keeps your home in the comfort zone all season. And cool again when summer kicks off. Apply at saveonenergy.ca/EAD. Enjoy the home field advantage. A message from EnviroCenter.
I'm gonna get it.
The only person that should be worried is Nicolas Maduro, who's running effectively as a kingpin of a narco state, not actually elected, and indicted for $50 million by the United States. And we know he's involved in the types of drug running that has affected the American people directly. So China and other countries are going to say certain things,
Oh,
and that's their
dang.
prerogative. What we have there in the Caribbean is a clear demonstration of military might. President Trump has shown, whether it's the Southwest border, whether it's the Houthis in freedom of navigation, whether it's Midnight Hammer in Iran, that the precise application of American power can have incredible impacts and reshape
No,
the
it's too
dynamics of
fast
the
or
world
something.
and the region. So Nicolas Maduro, as he considers whether or not he wants to continue to be a narco-trafficker,
It just genuinely is too fast.
and that's all I'll say about that.
Did regime change our goal there?
Well, that's a presidential
Yeah, that's dumb.
Anyone would prefer that he would just give himself up, but that's a presidential level decision.
Do I have to like manual at that part to like get over that little thingy?
Incredible that y'all were able to track that boat, know that there were 11 narco-terrorists on board, and be able to take it out to prevent all those drugs from making it into the United States and killing so many teenagers, so many 20-year-olds, whoever's doing drugs in the U.S. So thank you for that. I don't know how you did it. Sure, you have intel that you can't talk about. But let's talk about China this morning, because while we were sleeping, China was celebrating. They're having this parade in Tiananmen Square featuring a display of advanced equipment, and they invited Putin and they invited Kim Jong-un in attendance. So what message are they trying to send, and what is the administration's response?
Well, unfortunately, the weakness of the previous administration has driven Russia and China closer together. That's a terrible development.
Yeah, it's just too fast. There's nothing I can do for that.
Around the world, and it manifests in what we saw on TV last night. But that's why President Trump has charged us at the Defense Department to be prepared, to rebuild our military in historic ways, to restore the warrior ethos and reestablish deterrence. Not because we seek conflict, we do not, and we've been clear about that with China or Russia, but because by being prepared, you prevent it, to ensure that the American people in the homeland are safe, and demonstrations of parades are fine, but they don't hopefully manifest in actually military conflict. So we know what they believe and what they're about. We also know how strong we are and the military advantages we have. They know that also. Our job is to maintain those military advantages in space, in the skies, in the sea, under the sea, and with long-range fires. All the capabilities we have, Golden Dome, which is something China knows they can't replicate, and we will inside this administration. We're going to maintain the strategic advantage. President Trump has a great relationship with President Xi, and we'll leverage that in hoping to find ways that we can work together.
Almost had that.
So, Mr. Secretary, part of the president's philosophy is Eastern Strip. He wants to be able to
Be careful.
negotiate.
Session marker discombobulation is a thing here in Sandman.
One thing he does want to do is have the perception and the philosophy of the military to get back to the one way he wants to do that with changing the name from Defense to Department of War. What is the timeline on that?
I've said stand by on it. That's what I'll say again, because that's ultimately the president's call. But I'll say this. You know, we won World War I, and we won World War II.
Bro, who put that there?
Folks that understand how to exact lethality on the enemy. We don't want endless contingencies and just plain defense. I think words and names and titles matter. So we're working with the White House and the President on it. Stand by, but we might have some.
Bro, that's gonna piss me off.
Eventually. Well, here's the still wants to suggest you go to Kinko's and change your business card. Exactly. That is something that's going to make a decision on the White House, I'm sure. All right, so let's talk about the National Guard. If there's going to be a similar display of federal muscle in Chicago as in D.C., the National Guard will play a role. But yesterday there was a decision that came down by a judge in San Francisco, Breyer, I think it's brother of the Supreme Court Justice, who said the president should not deploy troops into Los Angeles. I assume that means National Guard, but you also put Marines in there. They said you can't do investigations, you can't aid ICE or police officers. Really limited anything National Guard can do. How will that affect
What the hell was that about?
in Chicago if the president decides to put National Guard in?
Like
That would be because it's an incorrect decision. Ultimately, the president had every authority. The National Guard was working completely within those confines, supporting law enforcement, protecting federal buildings and federal agents. That's what we said we were going to do from the beginning, and that's what we did. So everything we did in Los Angeles was lawful. And
What is this?
Gavin Newsom wasn't willing to do what was needed to prevent a Summer of Love 2.0, and so we got in there, secured the city, that'll be appealed, that'll be overturned. And what you see in Washington is the right kind of collaboration with state, local, city law enforcement. You've seen our city reborn, safe and beautiful. That's
Put a
template
freaking ramp
what
there.
that cooperation could look like. The National Guardsmen, I talked to some of them yesterday at the street. They were a little surprised when I stopped my convoy and the Secretary of Defense got out, and these National Guard soldiers from West Virginia were on patrol, but they were proud of what they were doing. They were excited to be in their nation's capital and security. And we've seen crime rates plummet in the city. So whether it's Chicago, we'll be proud to partner with law enforcement and partner with us. But as the president has said, he wants governors to invite us in. And unfortunately, you've got some governors that aren't willing to do that in Illinois and Maryland. So that's the president's call. We'll see what happens next. Protecting American citizens, just like our Southwest border. The invasion is over. The lawlessness and the chaos is over. We work with our federal partners appropriately to help secure the American citizens.
Hey, Mr. Secretary, I trust that we're going in. So he said that yesterday. So I'm wondering what the timeline might be.
I'm definitely getting better.
Going into Chicago, and then what's your response to Governor Pritzker? He said that the president. Eastside Maryland daily feels like he by any and think about that free. That's right, free. Thursday, 3 course dinner for $2. Only at Eastside Maryland.
Canadians know when you play with fire. It's spicy flavor. Like having crispy jalapenos and roasted pepper sauce in your Arby's Angus burger or poutine. Well played. Arby's, an automatic offer of
I don't want this roll with my ex-chick. She don't know a place, so I exit. Well, I'm still getting texts for the guest list. Yeah, I'm still getting texts for the guest list. I ain't moving desperate. I can make suggestions. Girl, out for your destiny, the beauty that you're blessed with. There's no temporary thing, you really gotta stretch it. It's her favorite jam, so I know she gon' request it. Always at work, so I know you feel neglected. Things are getting worse, so make sure that you're protected. Rolling out my dress day. Now I watch it.
Grant yourself a rebate.
So you want my best friend. That's right, that's right. Hey, best friend.
Welcome to the jungle. You've got a healthy appetite for spot destruction today. Molecular redistribution in full effect.
Blown back
These lesser known facts brought evil. You got no reason to short people. No offense, his feet would burn grass. Whenever he walked on the street, he turned glass. On his lucky rat's paw in the trap drawer. All the way up the stage was the trap door, slack jaw. Lock to keep your mind in the business. Drop the tech, the job is to chop next. That's just payback for no one. What they don't know like bone. Won't hurt till we squat. Got to be kidding me. Not like these your out their kettles and they keep rocking.
Here's a reminder. A mission that you've started awaits.
Let the games begin. A million ways to win. I'm sick of the wait and sick of the pain. I live with this weight within. That weighs me down, but nevertheless, I find a way to win. I pick up the pace and simmer the game. The shook of the pace I bring. I brace the savior. They're thinking of ways to slay the king. Running away from ways of sin. She's thinking of ways to break me in. Delivering major. The killing the rate up. The bigger the work rate, the bigger the paper. I'm telling them validation, boy, I validate myself. These rappers couldn't stomach me, they punch below the belt. Sitting and dreaming of palm trees, with more drag than a half feet. You're lukewarm, that's half heat. I'm Lupe, I'm Kweli, I'm Mos Def, I'm Ali. Who in the hell wanna spar me? This ain't a regular party. Somebody bring an alarm, please. My whole vote to the next stage. I've been ahead of the next wave and the next wave and the next wave. Labels are playing a guess game. I'll be the king in the chess game, telling them give me the checkmate. I'm a black man in a white world with a mad flow and a fresh fade. Couldn't see this in the X-ray. Space bars better escape. The lost hope, but I kept faith. No games, but I get played. Stones back with a new flow. Guns like where did you go? Got new smoke, got a move though. Through the back doors and the loopholes. Move slow, then you lose hope. Gotta think fast, never stoop low. Few scars from a few foes. Now we move smart, never too close. Head in the game, telling them give me the praise. Tables are running, we getting it running. It never could sever the flame. Don't want a regular wage. Brother will be coming of age. Something to nothing, I promise I'm coming. I'm setting it up in a blaze. Cutting the brothers and plotting on me. I'm in a cup with a couple of G's. I wouldn't bother the one. Running the shot of this bob and I weave. Never forgetting that nothing is free. In the head of the mum in the lead. I was a brother with nothing to see. One of the rappers who got a degree. I'm just a brother with nothing to hide. Ready to get in no matter the heights. Give you a little advice. Don't be the one that be living a lie. If you be putting, you better be wise. Never be letting them get me alive. Brothers be trying to be killing the vibe. I will endeavor to sever the ties. Spending my hours on keeping the relevance. I was a brother with
Is this an exploratory separation?
I was a man who believed in development. Hard fake. Had to be prevalent. Last place. Never was evident. Even though I was ahead of them, I was determined to make them irrelevant. Even for dead and I come for their regiment. I'll be the king of the residents. Put me on letterman. I'm in my element. I was 11 when I was a G. Give me the mic. Running the king. Hungry and seven. Nothing to shoot. Nothing to something. I body the beat. None of you brothers got nothing on me. Stones here.
Are you feeling refreshed? Ready to rip with renewed